2 News starts now with breaking news.
And that breaking news, the Florida Department of Health is reporting the first 2 deaths from coronavirus in our state.
West News' Kelsey Thor joins us live now in the studio with the new information.
Well, guys, the Florida Department of Health released that information not even an hour ago. One of the 2 deaths is a previously announced case in Santa Rosa County. The other deadly case is a new one out of Lee County. And on top of that, 2 other presumptive positive cases have been reported in Broward County. This news comes as Vice President Mike Pence is gearing up for a trip to Florida in the Trump administration's ongoing efforts to combat the coronavirus.
21 of those on the ship tested positive.
The total number of cases of coronavirus in the U.S. is now above 225. Nearly 24 of those are people on board a cruise ship off the coast of California. The vice president is expected in Fort Lauderdale on Saturday to meet with cruise line CEOs to discuss ways to prevent the virus's spread.
We'll be discussing with them in particular what additional measures our cruise lines could take to ensure the health and safety of the American public.
4 major cruise lines have already added pre-boarding temperature screenings, including here at Port Canaveral. On Friday morning, President Trump signed an $8.3 billion emergency spending package to combat the virus.
Came out of nowhere. We're taking care of it.
The hardest hit states remain California and Washington. So far, 16 people have died, 2 here in Florida. As of now, a total of 7 people in Florida have tested positive for the virus. Governor DeSantis says he expects to get some of that federal aid.
We think we will get at a minimum $27 million, probably more.
The governor says much of that aid will go towards getting more lab equipment and trained staff, but most importantly, more test kits.
We definitely envision the need to have more testing capacity. So I know those kits are going to be here soon, and it'd be good to have them. But we have not at this point been unable to test somebody due to not having enough equipment.
Now, so far, this virus has been most dangerous to the elderly. Many of the deaths that came out of Washington state were in a nursing home. And while it's not yet clear what the circumstances surrounding these 2 Florida deaths are, Governor DeSantis has already been encouraging nursing homes not to let visitors who may be sick in. Back to you guys.
Kelsey, thanks. So far, there are no confirmed cases here in Central Florida, but Orange County's economy is really feeling the heat. So far, 5 conventions that were coming to the Orange County Convention Center have canceled. The latest being McDonald's, which was set to hold their worldwide convention here in Orlando. Between the millions lost in tourist tax money and the millions lost as fewer people shop and stay here, there's also a domino effect on employees. Up and down the tourism corridor, it has a chilling effect on some merchants, but others are not ready to push the panic button.
Usually by now we have a lot of people coming into town, a lot of traffic tourists looking for tickets, trying to go to the theme parks, and I mean, it's dead.
But right now we don't see it being that bad, and we're going to have our spring breakers and our summer tourists hopefully coming in, so we're not just depending on the convention.
So far, out of the 5 conventions that have canceled in Orlando, only 1 has been rescheduled for next year.
No cases of the coronavirus in the U.S. have been in young children. In fact, the World Health Organization says in China, only a small percentage of patients are children, and even smaller percent experienced any severe symptoms. Still, many parents have a lot of questions about what they can do to protect their children. Local pediatricians say for now, kids should take the same precautions as adults. Make sure you're washing their hands, and if they are sick, keep them home from school. Pediatricians say that right now the best thing that parents can do is remind their children the risk of getting coronavirus remains low.
Just tell them that not to be panic first of all. If somebody has cough, cold, congestion, just try to be safe.
Pediatricians say they have had a lot of parents bringing their children into urgent cares, worried that their child might have the coronavirus, but saying most of those cases the child had the flu. Again, tonight, the Florida Department of Health is reporting the state's first 2 deaths from the coronavirus. Look for updates online at WESH.com and on the WESH 2 News app. And if any information is released overnight, you'll see it tomorrow morning right here on WESH 2 News Sunrise. Also breaking tonight in Osceola County, viewer video capturing a heavy fire and law enforcement presence in Kissimmee. This is at Fortune Road and Grande Boulevard, just east of the Turnpike. Osceola County Fire Dispatch tells us that a vehicle caught fire, which then spread to a building and then a second building. The fire is now out, and we are told that both buildings are abandoned. It does not appear that anyone was hurt.
We are looking at a 45-degree temperature drop between yesterday's record-breaking highs and overnight lows tonight.
First Alert meteorologist Kyle Gravlin is tracking the tumbling temperatures, and it's here with those details. Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, we're just starting that tumble right now. It's actually still fairly mild in most of central Florida, and the breeze has pretty much everything to do with that. We've cleared out the skies. That's part of it. As the winds get lighter tonight, that north breeze just starts pumping in the cooler air. We'll watch this gradual drop from still low 60s in the metro, even out to Melbourne. It's 60 there, down into the 40s for tomorrow morning. About 8 hours from now is when we'll really see these temperatures hit their lows. A lot of 40s around the area. Upper 30s will be in play well north of I-4. Central northern Marion County, far northern Lake, northwest Volusia, interior Flagler County. But for the moment, not too bad. 50s and 60s, still a steady north and northwest wind, but notice where it's much lighter here, north and northwest of I-4, even calm for the moment in Ocala. This is a spot with clear skies. Calm winds, we'd really see that number drop, but that wind will fluctuate, still 5 to 10 miles per hour in the morning. So with temperatures in the 40s, that will trigger the wind chill. 47 would feel like 42 or the low 40s in the Orlando metro. Could be like the mid 30s up into Marion County, and then highs that struggle as we head into tomorrow afternoon. The rest of your forecast coming up.
See you in a bit, Kyle. Thanks. A father and son went before a judge in Osceola County today, both formally charged in connection with a local mother's murder. A grand jury indicted Christopher Otero Rivera on a second-degree murder charge yesterday for the death of his estranged wife, Nicole Montalvo, in October. His father, Angel Rivera, is now charged with helping his son after the killing and mutilating Montalvo's body. Both men were ordered held without bond. We asked Otero Rivera's lawyer in court what they'll do now.
Does the indictment change anything for the case?
It doesn't change our path and how we're going to represent him.
Because Otero Rivera was charged with second-degree murder, he would not face the death penalty if he is convicted.
A judge is weighing whether or not to let a jury see new evidence in Markeith Lloyd's upcoming capital murder trial. At issue is video from police body cameras and video from inside of the interrogation room showing interactions between Markeith Lloyd and law enforcement after his arrest. In the courtroom today, there was some confusion about what parts of the video everyone received. A judge's ruling could come on Tuesday. Lloyd's trial for the murder of Orlando Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton is set to begin on May 1st.
A local man who is naked as Jaybird goes streaking down a street, and police say he somehow winds up stealing a car. Titusville police approached 25-year-old Andre Mason near Queen Street because the man didn't have on a stitch of clothing. Officers say when they got close, Mason jumped into a car and sped off. Turns out it was not his ride. A witness says Mason also got inside to a home some point last night, terrifying a woman inside. He was finally arrested and faces multiple charges.
Today, the Florida House of Representatives approved a tax package paving the way for negotiations with the Senate. The proposal would cut revenue by $115 million next fiscal year. It also creates sales tax holidays before hurricane season and the new school year. Some Democrats think parts of the deal give too many breaks to corporations and special interest groups, but Republicans say the proposal benefits households and families first. The Senate has not yet proposed a tax package, but has advanced a series of individual tax bills. Lawmakers will have to work out the differences as they negotiate a budget in the coming week.
President Donald Trump has named his new chief of staff. North Carolina Congressman Mark Meadows will take over the position being exited by Mick Mulvaney. The president tweeted about the staff shuffle tonight, saying Mulvaney will become the U.S. Special Envoy for Northern Ireland. The move makes Meadows the fourth chief of staff since President Trump took office in 2017.
Boeing has a mountain of work to do to repair its problem-plagued Starliner spacecraft. More than 60 fixes are needed to the capsule and the Boeing organization. And at Kennedy Space Center hangar, workers are refurbishing the Starliner after the completion of an investigation into its unpiloted December test flight. Flight controllers had to correct a series of programming mistakes, including one that could have caused it to collide with its own service module. Now, these are serious problems that could kill an astronaut crew. The next flight of the Starliner is on hold.
We are still a ways away from that, and I can't even tell you what the schedule is for making that decision.
NASA wants to know why it is officially labeling the flight a high-visibility close call and is starting a full-scale review of the Starliner organization.
Tonight, SpaceX is hoping for a late-night launch from Cape Canaveral for its 20th resupply mission to the International Space Station. The Dragon spacecraft will bring supplies and payloads, including critical materials for dozens of science and research experiments during future expeditions. Tonight's launch window opens at 11:50.
A heads up for drivers in downtown Orlando. A stretch of Colonial Drive is closed underneath of I-4 this weekend. Westbound drivers will be detoured around Orange Avenue, while eastbound drivers will be detoured around Huey Avenue. Both lanes should be back open by Monday morning at 5 a.m. One of basketball's biggest stars was in Orlando tonight for a special cause.
Magic Johnson came to speak to kids at the Levy Hughes Boys and Girls Club. There was lots of fun to be had at the I Am Simply Magic event, including an interactive magic show cleverly titled Magic with Magic. Johnson also spoke to the kids about the importance of school and community.
All these kids were fantastic, made my heart feel good. This is why I do what I do, because I was once one of these kids. I grew up the same way. I wanted to come back and say, hey, get your education. Things can change. You can live a great life if you just concentrate on getting a good education.
Magic also talked to the kids about not bullying and encouraged them to read, eat well, and exercise. And you heard him say he, too, was in a Boys and Girls Club and that it was a safe haven for him growing up. It's a pig named Duck that could soon become a bunny.
And not just any bunny. We're talking about the Cadbury bunny.
If you stopped here any day, she will be dressed. It's not like she's dressed just for this. She's dressed every day.
Up next, the pet that is making quite a name for herself in a national competition.
But first, Bike Week rolls back into Daytona Beach. What you'll see more of this time around. You're watching WESH 2 News at 11. We are staying on top of breaking news. Just 1 hour ago, the Florida Department of Health confirmed that our state's first deadly cases of coronavirus. Officials say one person previously diagnosed in Santa Rosa County has died. We also just learned someone in Lee County contracted coronavirus and also died as well. We also know of 2 additional presumptive positive cases of coronavirus in Broward County. We're still working to get more information, and we'll let you know once we know more. Bike Week has rolled like thunder back into Volusia County.
The 79th annual event kicked off in Daytona Beach and surrounding areas today. Over the next 10 days, nearly 500,000 motorcycle enthusiasts will be coming and going, and this first day looks crowded already. Officials don't expect any noticeable impact from the coronavirus. They say the fact that most drive to Bike Week rather than use commercial travel is a plus. There are additional hand washing stations around, but guests say that they have no worries despite being part of the crowd.
It's just like every other virus that's come by. It's common sense. Wash your hands, take care of yourself.
Now, the corporate sponsors of the event have not dropped out, and hotels say the bookings are strong.
A unique pet in Daytona Beach is in the running to take the place of a very famous bunny.
Cadbury is holding a contest for other animals to become its famous bunny for 2020. Matt Lapoli introduces us to one of 2 local finalists in the competition.
This is Duck. Right, she's a pig, a mini pig named Duck. But soon she may very well be a bunny. And not just any bunny, but the Cadbury bunny.
If you stopped here any day, she will be dressed. It's not like she's dressed just for this. She's dressed every day.
June Tarallo welcomed Duck into her home just after she was born a year and a half ago. Ever since, she's always by her side. Yes, this little piggy even goes to the market.
What are you looking for?
The pig's proper name is Duck Song, for the habitual pout under her snout and her special talent. She's a bit of a swine songbird, since music seems to prompt her unique pig pantomime. Of course, that's won her many adoring fans on Facebook. Turalo says friends urged her to enter Duck into Cadbury's bunny tryouts. Now they've made it into the top 10 finalists.
Which is such an honor.
A win, she says, could help build a platform to help dispel misconceptions about mini pigs.
A mini pig is considered anything that grows under 300 pounds. That's the cutoff. People have to do their homework on getting one and see if they could really handle that, you know, in the long run.
For her, Turalo tells us, crowned with famous bunny ears or not, Duck the pig is the best pet she could have.
She's amazing.
From Daytona Beach, Matt Lapoli, WESH 2 News.
And so talented at the same time. Duck the Pig is not the only local top 10 finalist. Ricky Bobby is a miniature horse in Ocala and also in the running. Polls are open online for Cadbury's 2020 bunny.
I don't know. Duck the Pig may run away with this one, guys.
So much talent here in Central Florida.
We are so hot right now. It's great.
That's awesome. Okay. Pretty comfortable night so far. We know what's coming, though. By tomorrow morning, pretty close to sunrise, that's when we see our low temperatures. And that's going to be a lot of 40s, even though right now in the City Beautiful, that live look from our tower cam, it's 61 in Orlando. The dew points are impressively low. This is very, very dry air in Central Florida. And from a forecasting perspective, if we had clear skies and calm winds, we would watch for these numbers to absolutely plummet around here. But that north breeze sticks around. 5 to 10 miles per hour, that's enough to at least keep temperatures up or hold them in the 40s as we start off Saturday. So we have the clear skies. Cold front is long gone. There's nothing to track here on satellite or on radar. Ocala's down to 52, but they have calm winds at the moment. It's 55 in the Villages, DeLand, and Palm Coast. 61 in Sanford for right now. Still 59 in Smyrna Beach and Titusville, 60 in Melbourne. But the winds are something to watch here going into tonight. Already some lighter winds northwest of I-4. I already mentioned Ocala. And then the steady breeze. Sanford, 16-mile-per-hour breeze. That will keep air temperatures up going into tonight. It's not going to stay at 16 miles per hour, though. It's going to come down to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So we're still bringing in some cooler air. Those temperatures that bottom out around the mid to upper 40s for much of Central Florida, the upper 30s and low 40s north of I-4. But you can knock about 5 to 7 degrees off these temperatures if we do have that 5 to 10 mile per hour wind around tomorrow morning. So it's going to be an unseasonably cold start, even with abundant sunshine. Still looking at temperatures that struggle. We're keeping an eye on the surface, the low-level winds here for the Falcon 9 launch. We're 30 minutes away. So far, so good from reports we've seen out at the Space Coast. But it is breezy out at Cape Canaveral. Clear skies on Futurecast. Nothing really to look at here, even with the abundant sunshine, though. Again, we should be in the mid to upper 70s tomorrow. We won't even be close. The most we can manage under sunny skies, low to mid 60s or upper 50s there up in Flagler County. Palm Coast at 58. Third round out at Bay Hill. No real weather worries. It just won't be warm. First tee times at 7:30. Could still be in the upper 40s at that point. Bike week continues tomorrow in Daytona Beach. We're hoping to reach a high at least around 60 or 61, but it's 50s for much of the day with that breezy wind. 10 to 20 miles per hour coming out of the north. Clocks go ahead an hour early Sunday morning. Nice warming trend by daytime Sunday. Still a cool start to Sunday. We get up to 70 Sunday afternoon, back to normal on Monday, back to the 80s on Wednesday. Courtney?
All right, Cal, thank you. The Orlando Magic look to snap a 3-game losing streak in Minnesota tonight. But first, two-time Bay Hill winner Matt Every shut up the leaderboard after round 1, but struggled mightily today. The outcome not even he expected when we come back.
Now, WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
Hello, everybody. Golf is a tricky game. One round, you can be up, and then the next day, you could be out. Daytona Beach native Matt Every had a bogey-free round on Thursday in round 1 at Arnie's Place. Well, today was a much different story. Every was certainly not alone in struggling in dry, windy conditions, but there were some Gators and golfers who figured out how to navigate the course. Co-leader Tyrell Hatton putting from just off the green on the par 5 fourth, and the birdie, there it is, gave him a one-shot lead at 6 under. He struggled through the back 9, but kept battling. Sung Hoo Kong is on the 16th here. putting for birdie. It breaks left to right and into the hole. He finished tied for the lead at 7 under with Tyrrell Hatton. And then there's Rory McIlroy on the par 3 17th. World #1 golfer has a 25-footer. It drops in. He finished 5 under 73 and 2 shots back. But let's get back to Matt Every. Sports director Darren Stoltzfus has more on his stunning collapse.
Well, after the first round yesterday, Matt Every warned us the leaderboard will look drastically different come Sunday. What we didn't know is how quickly that would change for the Mainland High grad. Today, he shoots 18 strokes worse than he did yesterday. So the leader goes from the top of the board to missing the cut.
It stinks for me because I really wanted to play well, and I really didn't see this coming, to be honest. But it happens. It just happens to me happens to me a lot.
Rory McIlroy led most of the day yesterday, but the top-ranked golfer in the world, a bit of a tougher task today. Shoots a 73. He's 2 strokes back of the leaders Tyrrell Hatton and Sung Hoon Kong.
I took advantage of benign conditions yesterday and was able to post a low one. So yeah, I feel fortunate that my side of the draw was maybe a shot or 2 easier. So it's going to be one of those tournaments where you just have to hang in there and hang around and, you know, take your chances when they present themselves.
There's a long way to go. There's still 36 holes to play, so it's a nice position to be in going into the weekend. But I know I know my long game needs to be a hell of a lot better if I'm going to have a chance on Sunday.
So as the weekend develops, these golfers expect the course to play much tougher. We'll see who can come out on top halfway home here at Bay Hill. From the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Darren Stoltzfus, WESH 2 Sports.
All right, thanks, Darren. And be reminded the final 2 rounds of the API will air right here on WESH 2. Tomorrow's 3rd round coverage begins at 2:30. To the hardwood, Magic continue their road trip tonight. A stop in Minnesota to play the Timberwolves. Orlando was up 10 at the break and would add to the lead in the 3rd quarter. Fultz to Vooch, nice pass in the bucket. Both guys had a nice night, accounting for 52 of the team's 132 points. The game was certainly won in the paint and on the boards. Much needed win there for the Magic, who win 132 to 118. Also, our thoughts are with Coach Cliff, who is at a local hospital after falling ill in the 3rd quarter. That's it for sports. More news when we come back.
A DeBerry couple who had their baby in the parking lot of a gas station Monday was able to thank the sheriff's dispatcher who was on the phone with them during their special delivery. Jonas and Renee Wonder and their family were met with cheers and gifts today, and they were able to show off newborn baby Luca, their 3rd child. The couple was on their way to the hospital when mom knew she was not going to make it. So they delivered Luca with the help of dispatcher Lexi Norris, who kept them calm.
It was exciting. It was a little nerve-wracking, but I'm really glad how it turned out.
There were lots of hugs. The family also thanking first responders who arrived just after the birth and took care of the family and the new parents.
What a birth story, right? All right, Kyle, so cool tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, the cool down continues right now. Still some 60s even in Central Florida. But by tomorrow morning, it's widespread 40s. Could feel like the 30s in quite a few spots, unfortunately, just because of that light north breeze and highs that only reach the low to mid 60s. Now we go into Sunday. First, clocks go ahead an hour early Sunday morning. Lows once again in the 40s, but a nice warming trend from there. Back up to around 70 on Sunday. Sunny skies, still a little bit below normal. We get back to normal on Monday. We get back to the 80s by the middle of the week. And as you can see, not much rain in that 7-day forecast. A few sprinkles out by the coast Monday, and then again Thursday and Friday.
It's always a very special time when you wake up with WESH on the weekends. Alex and Eric are both new parents, both sleep deprived, both adept at diaper changing, vomit cleaning, and pre-dawn feedings. They roll out at a.m.
Have a wonderful weekend.